All right, let's dive into something a little different this time.
No?
Pain.
Mm.
I know it's maybe not the most uplifting topic,
Yeah,
but I think it'll be a fascinating deep dive.
I'm sure it will be.
You know, you sent us this excerpt
Yes.
from a Turkish medical paper,
Uh-huh.
Ağrı ve Sanat, by Dr. Okan Bölükbaşı.
Okay.
And we're going to kind of explore how pain has shaped art throughout history.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not just about, like, the physical sensation.
Right.
It's about how this experience has really impacted human history and expression.
Well, you know, when you think about it,
Yeah.
pain is a survival mechanism.
Yeah,
It tells us to avoid danger.
exactly. And, like, without it,
Yeah, we'd
we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's fascinating to think about how that intensity, that urgency to avoid pain might be connected to our creative impulses.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that's why we see pain depicted
Yes.
so prominently in ancient myths and religion?
Yeah.
Like the story of Marsyas, the satyr who challenged Apollo to a music contest and then was flayed alive.
That's a powerful one.
It's disturbing.
Yes, very visceral and disturbing.
Yeah, and it really makes you think about the horror of pain.
Exactly.
It's hard not to feel a bit squeamish even just thinking about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
But these myths go beyond just shock value.
I agree.
They're really exploring the bigger meaning of suffering.
They're explorations of the human condition.
And this connection between pain and religious art.
Yeah.
It's so strong in the medieval Christian tradition.
Absolutely.
The suffering of Christ.
Uh-huh.
It becomes a way for believers to connect with his sacrifice.
On a visceral level.
And it seems like even early theories of pain were trying to make sense of this intense experience.
Trying to figure it out.
Like Alcmaeon and Anaxagoras, Hippocrates, and Plato.
Yeah, all the big names.
They were trying to understand the nature of pain.
And how it relates to the nervous system.
Yeah.
It's remarkable, though, how some of their ideas still kind of resonate today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the four humors theory.
Okay.
The idea that imbalances in bodily fluids cause illness.
Including pain.
Right.
Wow.
And now we know that neurotransmitters and hormones play a huge role in how we perceive pain.
So they were on to something.
In a way, they were.
Even without all the scientific tools we have now.
It's fascinating.
And you know, all these early theories,
Yeah.
the myths, the religious art,
Uh-huh.
they all seem to tap into this idea of empathetic pain.
It's a powerful concept.
So what is empathetic pain exactly?
It's that feeling you get when you see someone else hurting.
Even though you're not experiencing it yourself?
Exactly. You might wince or feel sympathy.
Right.
We know now this is because of mirror neurons,
Okay.
these special cells in our brains
Uh-huh.
that fire both when we experience something.
And when we see someone else experiencing it.
Right.
So like when we see a painting of Christ on the cross,
Yes.
those mirror neurons are firing.
Allowing us to experience a kind of shared pain.
That's incredible.
And that shared pain and empathy
Yeah.
can be a powerful force.
For connection and understanding.
But it raises questions, too.
Like what?
Well, Dr. Bölükbaşı calls pain a necessary evil. He even quotes a Turkish proverb, mutluluk aciz olmaktır, which means happiness is to be without pain.
Wow.
It really highlights the struggle.
Between wanting to avoid pain
Yeah.
and the idea that maybe
It's just an escape.
part of the human experience.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
If we're always trying to avoid pain,
Yeah.
sanitize everything.
Do we lose some of our capacity for empathy?
That's a good question.
Does it affect the art we create?
And that's something that thinkers like Carl Jung and Leo Tolstoy really grappled with,
They believed pain wasn't just something to avoid.
but a potential source of creative inspiration.
Jung talked about the artist as a conduit
Yes.
for unconscious forces.
He used Goethe's Faust
Yeah.
as an example,
That Faust created Goethe
not the other way around.
because these powerful, often painful unconscious forces
Flow through the artist
shaping their works.
in ways they might not even fully understand.
And Tolstoy believed that true art
Yes.
could transmit emotion from the artist to the audience.
Including pain.
Exactly. He saw this as a way to build empathy
To connect with each other's experiences.
on a deeper level.
But to really understand Tolstoy's point,
Okay.
it helps to look at an example.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
Sure. So Tolstoy believed
Yeah.
that experiencing a work of art that deals with pain
Yeah.
is almost like a form of shared suffering.
Okay.
And through that, we gain a deeper understanding
of ourselves and others.
Exactly.
I see.
And a powerful example of this is Tolstoy's own novel, Anna Karenina.
Oh.
It tells the story of a woman trapped in a loveless marriage who falls in love with another man.
Right.
And as Anna navigates societal constraints and her own desires, she experiences intense emotional pain.
Leading to a tragic end. You know, I remember reading that and feeling so deeply for Anna, even though her situation was so different from my own.
That's the power of Tolstoy's writing.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away from depicting
the rawness of her pain.
Exactly.
And in doing so, he allows us to empathize with her, even if we haven't lived through the same thing.
Right.
So Jung and Tolstoy, they both saw pain as this crucial element in creativity.
But where does that leave us today?
Right.
In a world that tries to avoid pain?
At all costs?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's one that Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, explored in depth.
I've read his book.
Oh, yeah.
Man's Search for Meaning.
Yes.
So powerful.
He saw incredible resilience.
In the face of unimaginable pain.
Exactly.
And it led him to believe that we have the freedom to choose our attitude.
Even in the most horrific circumstances.
And to find meaning in suffering.
Precise.
He argued that this search for meaning,
yeah,
this ability to find purpose amidst pain,
it's essential for our well-being.
So it's not about denying pain.
No.
But finding a way to integrate it into our lives.
To learn from it.
To use it as fuel for growth.
But it's important to distinguish between the heroic acceptance of necessary pain and the unproductive kind.
So like the pain of childbirth.
Exactly.
Which brings new life into the world.
Versus self-inflicted wound.
One is necessary.
And the other is destructive.
So how does this all relate back to art?
Good question.
Is there a danger in romanticizing pain?
I think it's about balance.
Okay.
We don't need to glorify suffering.
Right.
But we shouldn't shy away from it either.
Because artists can give voice. To the unspoken.
To the things we don't want to confront.
Like Frida Kahlo.
Oh, yes. A great example.
To her self-portraits.
So raw and honest.
Depicting both her physical and emotional pain.
And in doing so,
yeah,
she offers us a way to process our own pain.
And to feel less alone.
Exactly.
So art is a form of catharsis.
For both the artist and the audience.
It allows us to explore difficult emotions.
In a safe way.
In a world that often tries to avoid pain.
Yeah.
Art can remind us.
Of what?
Of our shared humanity.
Our vulnerability.
Or resilience.
And even more importantly.
What's that?
It reminds us that pain doesn't have to be the end.
Okay.
It can be a catalyst.
For growth.
For connection.
Creativity.
But this brings up another question.
I'm listening.
If pain can be a source of creativity, a catalyst for growth, even a path to connection.
What happens when we try to eliminate it completely?
That's where things get really interesting.
Dr. Bölükbaşı talks about how modern medicine has made such incredible strides.
It's true.
In pain management.
We have treatments and therapies now. That would have been unimaginable before.
It's a good thing, of course.
Absolutely.
No one wants to suffer.
But it makes you wonder.
About unintended consequences.
Right.
Like if we're too successful.
At eliminating pain.
Yeah. Could we actually lose something?
Something essential.
Could it hinder our ability to create meaningful art?
It's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're never forced to confront pain, do we lose that raw energy?
That fuels creative expression.
Think about how art forms have changed.
Like how?
Well, early theater often involved these ritualistic displays of suffering.
Violence, even.
And now we have these highly stylized performances.
More focus on spectacle.
Right. Entertainment.
It's interesting to think about that shift.
Does it reflect a broader trend?
Maybe.
Are we becoming less tolerant of discomfort?
Less willing to confront the darker parts of humanity.
It's possible.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation.
I agree.
We started with pain.
And ended up exploring.
Art, empathy, the human condition.
It just goes to show. That even unexpected topics
can lead to fascinating insights.
Who knew there was so much to say about pain?
Right. I know, I've learned a lot.
Me too.
I have a whole new perspective.
On what?
On pain and its role in art.
And empathy.
And in our own growth.
As you go forward,
Yeah.
I encourage you to think about these things.
Oh, pain.
About its role in your life.
How it shapes our experiences.
And maybe even fuels your creativity.
It's definitely something to ponder.
I think so.